From Washington, this is VOA News. "49 Ukrainian military personnel killed, and Afghans vote for new president amid Taliban threats." I'm Bill Michaels reporting from Washington. Officials in eastern Ukraine say pro-Russian separatists have shot down a military transport plane, killing 49 military personnel. The defense ministry said today the rebels downed the Ukrainian Air Force plane carrying troops and supplies with a large caliber machine gun as the aircraft was about to land at the Lugansk Airport. On Friday, the U.S. State Department confirmed that Russia has sent tanks and other heavy weapons to separatists in Ukraine. State Department spokeswoman Harf said a convoy of 3 tanks, several rocket launchers, and other military vehicles crossed the border in the last 3 days. She called the move unacceptable. Afghan voters are headed to the polls under the threat of Taliban attack to vote in a runoff presidential election. The Taliban has vowed to violently thwart today's election, and the moods across the country appeared to be wary as security forces made last-minute efforts to secure polling stations. Our VOA correspondent Sharon Bain in Kabul says there were several explosions in the capital this morning, but there have been no reports of casualties. Afghan troops stepped up security sharply, erecting more checkpoints, searching cars, and banning trucks from the streets of the capital, Kabul. Presidential candidates Abdullah and Ashraf Ghani have pledged to maintain a close military relationship with the United States. Islamic militants from the al-Qaeda-linked Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant continued to make a small gain on their push southward along the Euphrates toward Baghdad. Edward Uranian reports for VOA from Cairo.
Crowd of Shiite worshippers in the iconic shrine city of Karbala applauded Friday as senior cleric Abdul Mahdi al-Karbalahi, representing Iraq's top Shiite spiritual leader, Sheikh Ali Sistani, urged Iraqi citizens to volunteer and defend their country against Sunni ISIL militants. He says that Iraq is going through an extremely critical period and that it is the patriotic duty of its sons who are able to bear arms to defend their country by volunteering to join the security forces. Hundreds of mostly Shiite volunteers lined up in front of army recruiting posts in Baghdad and cities to the south and east. Edward Uranian for VOA News, Cairo.
2 months ago in mid-April, more than 200 girls were kidnapped from their schoolhouse in northeastern Nigeria. Since then, nationwide, even worldwide, protests have demanded their return, and countries around the globe have offered to help. But the girls remain missing. For VOA, Heather Murdoch filed this report from Abuja.
The girls were snatched from a remote town in northeastern Nigeria on April 14th, and families are devastated. More than 50 girls escaped by jumping out of vehicles and running through the bush, but most remain missing. Amid the international attention, Boko Haram released a video that shows about 100 girls in the bush, and local leaders confirmed they were the kidnapped victims. After 2 months, protesters say neither Boko Haram nor Nigerian security forces have given any indication that the girls are any closer to coming home. Heather Murdoch for VOA News, Abuja.
The Netherlands took revenge over Spain, crushing the defending champions and world's top-ranked team 5-1 in World Cup action Friday. The Group B game was a rematch of the 2010 World Cup final when Spain beat the Dutch 1-0. The first full day of matches in the world's premier sporting event began with Mexico's 1-0 shutout over Cameroon. Later in the day, Chile trounced Australia 3-1 in their World Cup opener. Mexico now tied with Brazil at the top of Group A play with 3 points apiece. Los Angeles Kings have reclaimed the National Hockey League title with a 3-2 double overtime victory over the New York Rangers. Los Angeles wins the series 4-1. Reporting from Washington, I'm Bill Michaels.
That's the latest world news from VOA.